All right, Master Series qualifier number 2, deck number 2. This is EndoZoa's Aggro Aldmeri Dominion deck, an archetype that I think is super fun, especially because it has all of the combat tricks you could ever want. 9 times out of 10, if it wants to trade favorably, it will. It has an absurd amount of things from Crown Quartermaster daggers all the way up to stealing your keywords with an Aussie. And everything in between is probably going to be really good at holding field lane control or extending the control it already has. Things like Wardcrafter, things like Sedaine Courier, tempo tools like Shrieking Harpy. It's really cool because this deck can really get a stranglehold on a board if you were doing creature-to-creature combat. It reminds me a lot of old Tempo Assassin, where it was very focused on being a quick, aggressive, anti-aggro deck. This is kind of similar, where it has a lot of nice reactive tools where you can get something on board and then react to their development and trade over it in some way. And also it has a whole bunch of healing. Dominion Oathman, yellow card in play, you get Drain. Room of Profiteer has health. Dominion Battle Reeve has Drain. Penitence Oculatus can take Drain, particularly from Barrow Stalkers, which are everywhere. Hive Defender is effectively life gain against other aggressive decks by keeping your face safe. Varen Aquilarios, stupid amounts of healing in aggressive mirrors. It even goes so far as to run Gavel of the Ordinator to make sure your trades are efficient. It's really, really cool. I like it a lot. It doesn't have the kind of burn aspect that my over-the-top Aldmeri does, but I don't think you need it, given that it has a bunch of other ways to deal direct damage like Cliff Racers and Swift Strikes and Dawnbreakers for reach, and then 3 copies of Lightning Bolt, and then also Ancano. Really cool, a lot of fun. We're going to play a couple games with it. I bet this is going to do really well, and yeah, deck code in the description if you want to give this one a try. Okay, game number 1 with EndoZoa's aggressive Aldmeri Dominion. We are against probably Rage Ebonheart. It's an absurdly strong deck, so I assume they're playing it. We actually have some pretty good cards. Moragtong Aspirant is really good at starting off. It can trade favorably with most things they're going to play in the early game and gives us a 1-drop to develop. Especially when you're against Rage decks or slower decks, you want to get off and running quickly. And 4-2 worth of stats on turn 1. I'm going to say that counts as quickly. I'm pretty happy. Anasi is really good in this matchup for their lethal creatures, their guards, their drainers. We're actually just going to develop Sedaine as a 3-1. We don't want to give him any one target that is particularly good as a removal target. He doesn't really have any ways to go wide for removal until later in the game, unless he's running Skaven, in which case we just concede. Not Skaven! Yeah! Killing it. First Room Prophecy really sucks. That's kind of fine. Like, it heals 2 damage, but it also just replaces itself, which is net fine. He is going to get completed contracts because he has... Oh, Crossbow, not Gambit. Okay, that's fine. I thought it was Gambit, which would have been worse. This means we can just Anasi the lethal off of that. We get a 5/5 lethal, which is great. So this is going really well. We are getting on the board substantially faster than he can respond to. He had it looks like a slow opening, not a lot to really do yet. His cards are, in the early game, kind of expensive. He gets to play maybe 1 a turn, and when you're playing more than 1 threat on a turn, or more than 1 thing that can be responded to, it ends up going really, really well in your favor. That's why ramp is really important to these Ebonheart decks. You really, really need to get going and get your Magicka up so that you can have things to do. This looks like it will be another crossbow. Yep. Not terrible for us. We can work with that. It also forced him to use his coin, granted, or his contract. Granted, Astrid gets another one, but you know, what you gonna do? I kind of honestly like Cliff Racer, like double trading here and then Cliff Racering that off the field. I don't know. This is actually a tricky turn. Oh, we can go with this. He has no lethals on board. Put this here. Which means that he doesn't have a way to clear the Corner Club Gambler very well. Things like Skaven still destroys us, and an Archer's Gambit would be problematic because we would have 2 of our creatures taken off. We'd have 6 power on board, and then another 4. We get a 10, so we'd be 4 short of lethal next turn. We're still in a good position. He hasn't had any life gain. He has had almost no ramp. His only ramp has come from the completed contracts. He's getting off Astrid. So we're definitely still in this. What is his Necromancer target? Sanctuary Pet? Slow something down? Yep. You never attack with this. Kugawara, do not attack, please. 4, 6, 9, 1 short of lethal. We have it with Battle Reeve and Dawnbreaker. 4, 6, 9, 13, 14. Yeah, we do. Sweet. That was a mistake. Battle Reeve should have happened first, 100%, but won't matter. We do get there with the Dominion Battle Reeve summon effect. Awesome. That worked exactly the way we want it to. We get on the board early. We go a little bit wide, but not horribly so. Not quite as much as a Token Crusader would, for instance. And we just kind of outpace our opponent. We keep the tempo in our favor, and we overwhelm them. Let's see if we can do it again. Okay, game 2 with this Dominion deck. We are against JFZ on Guildsworn. Guildsworn has a lot of builds, which I think is its primary strength. There's so many things that it can do that it's really hard to mulligan against. I'm actually going to pitch the Cern Pawnbroker, which I'm not 100% convinced is the right play, but I don't think it's necessarily wrong either. I think it's really important to get more proactive things. Notably, they have almost nothing that works well into Mournhold Trader other than double Firebolt in the early game. Wardcrafter isn't bad, but also we can just Shadow Shift it away. Alright, we'll go ahead and develop Mournhold Trader, because it's a really good card. Gavel is a nice draw also. It means that we have some nice combat tricks when we need it, which, if it's an aggro Guildsworn, we absolutely will. Who knows, though?
There's a plan. There's always a plan.
So, I'm going to trade into that, assuming that he has a Firebolt, and then we can just trade into it with the Daggerfall Mage. And then we can develop Baron Zaya behind that. Okay, Rapid Shot with no cycle, just to clear off the Mournhold Trader. That's fine for us so far. Yeah, that turn was quite good for us. I'm still not particularly sure what it is that they're running. Rapid Shot is just a good card. Same with Bruma Profiteer. Okay, Javelin is fine. This makes me think it's probably something a bit more controlling. I think we have some options here. I like the 2, but also that doesn't get us a draw, which I really value right now. Nice. And I will Shadow Shift just for another draw. Okay, East March Crusader is great. So next turn we have Penidus and East March Crusader available to us. Okay, Bruma Profiteer. That doesn't really do much. So I'm looking at this as a potential Ice Storm turn coming. So I am going to Cleric. Try and keep field lane control, because that's where proactivity happens. Oops. We have ways to deal with the Bruma if we need to, which we probably will. We do want that off the board pretty quickly, because if they end up getting lots of tokens, then that's a lot of healing, and this deck has a good amount of reach, but healing is very good against it, as is the case with all aggro decks, so, you know, that kind of makes sense. Phalanx Exemplar, we can have a lot of ways to deal with that. This is one of those situations that this deck is phenomenal into. Gavel looks really nice. Petidus looks really nice. I'm liking something that allows us to develop Trader. So 2, 6. We don't have anything to go with that. So we go 2, 5, 7. Yeah, my math was just totally wrong. So Gavel is the correct play here. East March, the next one for a draw. Pawnbroker we play next turn. Trader just is, it's so powerful of a play that it's very often just right to slam it down if they don't have an obvious way to deal with it. Right now, if they don't have an Ice Storm, then they're kind of in a bad position. Sweet, we still have 10 power worth of creatures. For 2, he could probably put out a Firebolt or a Guard. Shrieking Harpy is just fine. 3, 5, 8. I really, really want to deal with this Harpy. And a second Ice Storm would be a problem, but you can't really play around it in 41 cards. Or 75 cards, rather. I don't know where 41 came from. Ooh. That works out well. Play around Dawn's Wrath. Nice! That was a really good Pawnbroker roll. If you watch the video that I put out yesterday, you'll see we're doing really well with Pawnbroker in the last little while. Aspect of her scene. Like, I feel bad. That's a really good card, but Petidus just destroys it. Go for maximum overkill with Divine Fervor. 4 and then 7 is a Rune Skip, and that will be the second win on the game. Second win on the video with the deck. Win the game with the deck for the second time on the video. Good things, good deck. Play good deck is very fun. Oh, God. All right, yeah, deck go down in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, 2 more videos this week. We're going to be doing Market Assassin and or Market Archer, not Assassin. It's even in the name. Come on, Alex. And then a slow mid-range Tribunal that Person of Secrets did. So keep an eye out for those in the future, and we will have one of those tomorrow. So yeah, thanks. See you next time.